Hey guys, welcome back to How to Rip's Lesson of the Week. In today's video we're going to discuss one of surfing's most important skills, which is the duck dive. We're going to teach you our 5-step process to nailing it. So let's go. And if you're new here, this is the show where we put up 2 new videos every week, so subscribe now to stay up to date.
Without the ability to duck dive well, you will struggle to get out past the waves, which is generally where the best waves are. Now as your surfing progresses, there's no other place to be than out there. Now not only that, you will find yourself getting tired and fatigued much faster. Now this increased fatigue is due to the fact that when you remain on the surface when an oncoming wave hits you, it will drag you backwards. Compare this to a surfer who successfully duck dives under the oncoming waves. By going under, they don't get dragged back as far, therefore, once they actually get out past the waves, they have more energy.
So now that we understand the importance of a duck dive, we need to learn how to do it. Now, practicing it out in the surf is important, but initially we can practice in a pool or on flat days, and that's exactly what we're going to do. I've got 3 boards here that we're going to practice the duck dive on. We've got a longboard with high volume, which means it's really buoyant, a medium board, medium buoyancy, and then my shortboard, which is really low volume, really low buoyancy. I'm going to take these boards out into the water and I'm going to see how I go actually duck diving them. From low volume here to big volume on my right. Okay, so to start with guys, I'm going to teach you our 5-step way to duck dive. Initially, you just have to find your perfect position on the board. Now remember, if we're too far forward, the nose will go under the water. If we're too far back, it's up in the air. So we want to be somewhere in the middle. Once we've got that position, the first step to the duck dive is hands on the rail. Okay, so we've seen the wave coming, hands on the rail of the board, under my chest like a push-up position. From here, I'm going to press down. Now you can see already that the nose of the board is under the water. From here, my knee or foot is going to push onto the deck grip, and that's stage 2. Now the whole board is submerged. From here I'm going to follow the board under like a dive.
Steps 3 and 4 happen underneath the water. Step 3 is to extend the board forward as you dive underneath the water. Step 4 is then to slide your hands up towards the nose of the board. Now once they get to the nose, you're going to pull your chest in towards the board. This will help your body follow the nose of the board up and out of the water. And step 5 is simply tying it all together with power and speed to go deeper. Let's look at this with some real examples.
Alright, so we're going to tie it all together. I've got my perfect paddling position. I'm paddling hard and fast into the oncoming wave. The faster and the more momentum we have going towards it, the more success we'll have getting underneath it. Paddling hard, hands on the rails under my chest, pressing down, my knee into the deck grip or your foot if you want to go deeper. From here, follow your board under and let your hands go towards the nose. So now we've got our medium length board, we're going to try and duck dive this. This has a much higher volume, much higher buoyancy, so this will be interesting. But the same steps apply. Okay, so now we're up to our third and final board, the longboard. This is the big one. The highest volume, the most buoyancy, and obviously the longest. So this will be interesting to see if I can duck dive this board. Once again, the same steps apply. It's not going anywhere. Let's try again.
As you can see here, as the boards got bigger and their volume increased, they became harder and harder to actually duck dive. But one thing that I was actually surprised about was how successfully I could duck dive the medium length board. Now this is the kind of board that most of you will be riding, so this is a good thing. We know from this footage that it is possible to duck dive a board like this.
Okay, so as you just saw, I cannot get this board under the water. From the first moment of actually trying to press that board under, and even with my knee and foot in the back, it's not going under. It's simply too buoyant. So what happens if this is you? If you've got a board with high volume and you can't duck dive? Well, that's where we do a thing called an Eskimo roll.
Before we begin explaining how to actually perform an Eskimo roll, it's important to recognize that it isn't as efficient as an actual duck dive. However, it's better than having no other option than to paddle straight through. To perform an Eskimo roll, you paddle hard and fast into the oncoming wave. As the wave approaches, you slide your hands up towards the top of the board and you simply roll it over. You then pull the nose of the board in towards you. If you do this successfully, the wave should hopefully roll over the top.
With lots of practice, you'll be able to perfect your duck dive, and for those of you with high volume boards, you'll be able to practice your Eskimo roll. On a day like today, with no waves, you can still take your board out in the water and practice.
Now there is one other method that surfers can use to get under the waves, and now it's commonly referred to as ditching or bailing your board. It's a last resort method, and we strongly discourage beginners from actually using this method because it puts surfers around you at a high risk of getting hit from your surfboard. Another point to be aware of is the stress that can be placed on your leg rope when you bail, because as you swim underneath the wave and your board is left there floating, the wave will grab the board and pull it back. This could easily cause your leg rope to snap. In a situation where a surfer finds himself about to wear a powerful wave directly on the head, it is an option to push your board to the side and swim down below the wave. This reduces the impact of the wave on your body. Check out this example here. A surfer committed to trying to duck dive this wave, and the lip landed directly on him. Now there have been situations where surfers have actually been injured from the lip landing on them. Now this obviously happens in bigger, more powerful waves. However, even on a wave like this, the surfer still managed to have his surfboard snapped in half. So while ditching isn't a preferred method, it is an option should you require it. Duck dive, Eskimo rolls, and bailing. They are three great options to getting under the waves to get out the back. But what if there was an easier way? Now, depending on the beach that you're surfing, surfers can utilize the rips to get out the back. Check out this example, it's perfect. You can see clearly how when I jumped into this rip, it sucked me straight out the back. No duck diving, nothing. If you decide to use a rip to get out the back, make sure that you're not a beginner surfer and you've got experience out in the waves and you're a confident swimmer, because obviously rips can lead to hazardous situations. But they can be great for getting surfers out the back easily and quickly.
Remember to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and comment below to let us know what else you want to see. Something like this one.
On the wave, then looking